all my dear student friends. Welcome to this session. We are studying the subject power engineering and refrigeration. We are going to start the third unit, that is air compressors. So we have studied the first two units related with the IC engines, and we have seen that the IC engines are nothing but the power producing devices. Now we are going to study the power consuming device, that is the air compressor. The air compressor is a power consuming device. So though this air compressor consumes the power, but it has several applications in the industry. So many uses. Air is compressed and it is used for cleaning. It is used to fill the compressed air, high pressure air in the tires of the vehicles. It is used for tightening the nuts and bolts. It is used for spray painting. So there are several applications of compressed air. So the air compressors are very important devices, and the function of the air compressors is to increase the pressure of the air from the atmospheric pressure to the higher pressure as per the application. So this compressed air is stored in the tanks and it can be used as and when required. So let us study the applications of the compressed air, or the need or the uses of the compressed air in detail, one by one. So as I have told you, first of all, for cleaning of the complicated machine parts where we cannot reach easily, so at those places compressed air can reach at the corners and it can clean each and every corner of the complicated machines. Complicated machine parts can be cleaned very easily with the help of the compressed air. Then for spray painting purpose, compressed air is used. For the tightening of the nuts, compressed air can be used. If you used compressed air for tightening of the nuts, then you will find that the nuts will not get over tightened. At the same time, the tightening will be appropriate up to the required level, and this will increase the life of the nuts and bolts of the threads. The threads will not slip. So that is the important advantage of using the compressed air for tightening the nuts to produce blast in the blast furnaces. So these furnaces, in order to run these furnaces, first of all we have to produce the blast. So this blast cannot be produced without the help of the compressed air. Then in supercharging of the IC engines, we are using the compressed air. In supercharging, we are supplying the air to the engine which is already having high pressure. So we are increasing the pressure of the air and then it is supplied to the IC engines. Already we have studied the supercharging of IC engines. So for that purpose also we use the compressed air. Then for operating the gas turbines, we require the compressed air. So the next chapter is nothing but the gas turbines. So in that chapter we can study in detail that how compressed air can be used in the gas turbines. Then for atomized supply of fuel in the CI engines, we already studied this point in the previous chapters, that we have to supply the fuel in the CI engines at a very high pressure and in an atomized condition. Very fine minute droplets, atomized droplets of the fuel has to be sprayed inside the combustion chamber against a very high pressure, and for that purpose we need the compressors. Then the operation of air brakes of automobiles and locomotives. So in order to have the urgent braking, we are using the air brakes in the automobiles and the locomotives. So these brakes operate very urgently, that is the important feature of the compressed air of the pneumatic machines, that they work very fast. So urgent braking is possible by using the compressed air in automobiles as well as locomotives. Then for operation of tools like pneumatic drills, riveter, hammer, etc. So some tools are also operated with the help of the compressed air. Some motors can also be operated by using the compressed air. Pneumatic motors are also using the compressed air. And the driving of air motors in coal mines, I have told you that the pneumatic motors or the air motors are used in the coal mines also. So in the coal mines, we are using the air motors. For driving these air motors, the compressed air is required. Compressed air which is stored in the tanks can be used to operate the air motors which are used in the coal mines also. So these are the important some of the applications or the uses of the compressed air. Now let us go ahead to study the classification of air compressor. So the air compressors, they are first of all classified as reciprocating compressors and rotary compressors. So depending upon the relative motion, if the motion is linear, the piston is reciprocating inside the cylinder. So when the motion is linear, reciprocating motion, responsible for the compression of the air, those compressors are called as the reciprocating compressors. And when we have the rotary motion responsible for the increase in pressure of the air, then those compressors are called as the rotary compressors. Now these reciprocating compressors can be further classified as single stage or multi-stage compressors. So sometimes when the pressure ratio is high, we cannot get the required pressure, higher pressure in single stage. So at that time you have to use more than one stage, 2, 3, 4 stages can be used. So in series of the compressors are arranged in series, and then we increase the compression ratio, the pressure is increased again and again. So the compressed air which is coming out from the first stage enters into the second stage compressor, and the compressed air which is coming out from the second stage enters into the third stage compressor. So in steps we are increasing the pressure. So that method is called as multi-staging. So those compressors are called as the multi-stage compressors. So compressors are classified as single stage compressors and the multi-stage compressors. And these are further classified as single acting or double acting compressors. So these reciprocating compressors may be single acting as well as double acting. So whenever the compression takes place on one side of the piston, generally in single stage compressors, so that side of the piston which is opposite to the crankcase, that is used for compression purpose. So one side of the piston is used for compression purpose. Those compressors are called as the single stage compressors. And when both the sides of the piston are used for the compression purpose, then they are called as the double acting compressors. In that case the crankcase is also used for the compression purpose, and the front side of the piston, that is the upper side of the piston, that means towards the cylinder head, that side is also used for compression. So they are called as the double acting compressors. So if both the sides of the piston are used for compression, then it is called double acting compressor. If only one side of the piston is used for compression, it is called as the single acting compressor. Now let us go to the rotary compressors. So the rotary compressors may be positive displacement compressors or non-positive displacement compressors. So there is an important difference between the positive displacement and non-positive displacement compressors. So you should understand this difference carefully. So in case of positive displacement compressors, the compression takes place due to the decrease in volume. So the air is forced to get compressed because the volume is decreased due to the relative motion between the various components. So the air has no other way than to get compressed. It cannot go anywhere else. So when the space is reduced, when the volume is reduced, the air has to get compressed, and therefore the compression is called as the positive compression, positively compression takes place. So therefore these compressors are called as the positive displacement compressors. So due to the displacement of the parts and due to the relative motion of the parts, positively compression takes place. Therefore these types of compressors are called as the positive displacement compressors. Now other type of compressors are the non-positive displacement compressor. We don't call negative displacement compressor, but we call it as the non-positive displacement compressors. So in case of non-positive displacement compressors, the kinetic energy of the air or fluid is converted into pressure energy. So the velocity decreases and the pressure increases. Thus the kinetic energy is converted into pressure energy. So the compression takes place by the virtue of the conversion of the kinetic energy into pressure energy. So this is possible by changing the area of cross section available for the flow of the air. So these things we are going to study in detail while studying the types of the non-positive displacement compressors, that is the centrifugal compressor and the axial flow compressors. So all these compressors we are going to study in detail later on with the help of the figure etc. But right now we are just studying the types of the compressors. So the positive displacement rotary compressors which we are going to study are the Roots blower, the vane type compressor, the Lysholm compressor and the screw compressor. So again I repeat, Roots blower, vane type compressor, Lysholm compressor and the screw compressor. So all these compressors we are going to study, and this is the basic classification of the compressors. The compressors also, they are further classified on some other basis. First of all, according to the pressure limit. So according to the pressure limit, low pressure compressor, when the discharge pressure is less than 10 bar, it is a low pressure compressor. Medium pressure compressor is that compressor when the discharge pressure lies between 10 bar to 80 bar, and the high pressure compressor is that compressor in which the discharge pressure is greater than 80 bar. So when the, according to the capacity of the compressors are classified as low capacity compressors, that is when the capacity is less than 0.15 cubic meter. When the capacity is less than 0.15 cubic meter, then the compressor is low capacity compressor. When the capacity is between 0.15 to 5 cubic meter, then it is a medium capacity compressor. And if the capacity is greater than 5 cubic meter per second, then it is called as the high capacity compressor. So this was about the classification of the air compressor.